let's go right here for now. It'll block the rolls, but we don't really need to see those since they're automated. Unless we really want to see them. Welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. Hopefully we are live and return to, let's see. Gotta bring up chat, everyone. 1 second. It's being a little laggy on my phone. I gotta change that JPEG for our earlier episode to Reina here in a little bit. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Hello, hello. Oh, wait, it matches what the title is, because it was mostly about me learning kind of the beginnings of it. So, time for RNG Bullcrud. Yes, this game is terrible. I did it to Tam King a lot during our game against each other. It was the first time that I've been on the receiving good end. Like, I'm the aliens of XCOM, and Tam King's the one that got XCOM as the normal unit. He had dwarves, too. Dwarves are actually pretty scary, but they just would not get that ball. That's why he made that joke. And short people that won't pick up balls. Why? Because their hands are too. I actually don't know. Technically, a dwarf's hand should be pretty good for a football, considering how freaking huge their hands are for being short dudes. They just be able to swallow the ball in their hand and just go. They wouldn't be able to run. They definitely can't run, but it's like it was kind of hilarious. They just kept rolling ones on him, and they just kept dropping the ball and giving me turnovers. There was one point where it was his turn. He had the ball. I had kicked it to him. I had already made a normal touchdown. I kicked the ball to him. He got to pick up the ball and then, or to go over and pick up the ball, and it dropped it and fumbled it to a square to the two to the left, or to the south, I should say, which is towards my line. And because I happened to make a hole just big enough with my rat ogre, because he's on my defense line, I have my one. I always run two gutter runners on my defense just in case I happen to get an interception or take the ball away from the enemy, because they're pretty decent at picking up the ball, depending on how you build them. So my gutter runner ran right between three players, dodging them because that's one of the Skaven's best skills. Hello. Um, and picked up the ball and got me right back into touchdown like next turn basically. So I ended up in two touchdowns. It was terrible. It XCOM'd the tar out of Tam King during our match. And you only get 16 full turns. A full inning is both players have taken one turn. Then it moves to second inning. Both players take turn, moves to third inning. This was like somewhere near the 14th or 15th inning, so he was no way he was going to get two touchdowns in like in only two turns or any only two cycles. I would have quit the game after that. Yeah. This game, it might do that to me now. Now it's going to be AI. The AI always has the advantage in these games, so I might have that happen to me tonight. So we're going to see what happens. I didn't want to talk because this is a good opening. Just admire the beauty and insanity of this opening you're about to see.
Finally, after all those years of hardship, after everything they told me, I'm gonna show them that even I can be the best player.
Poor Gabo. Oh, well. Now you can imagine who sponsors that Dark Elf team. Oh, well, they got ran over, though. That's what Tam King was playing with the dwarves. Oh. Stop. Yep, Nurgle. Yep. Yeah, that's not good. Oh no! Wait, the orcs have. Whoa, wait a minute. Do I get a weird board now? Or not weird board, a dock? What do they call it? The docks? I forgot. Wow, this opening is fantastic. I didn't watch it last time because I was just playing with Tab King. So crazy. So weird that there's a football Warhammer. Just want to point that out. Right, anyways. That was a great opening. Welcome to Blood Bowl. Also, Wood Elves are a thing now. Welcome to Blood Bowl 3. Not that I didn't have enough elves. All right, so let's go over to. Oh, I'm gonna have to turn my custom controls on real quick. Imagine a 40K version. They'd just be shooting each other. I don't know if that would work. You just not would you not you couldn't allow guns because they unless the guns like had rubber bullets, right? It'd have to be an allowment of that maybe that you could use a combo like something like the guys who have better accuracy use the guns to shoot the ball further. It sounds weird, but that'd be the only thing I could kind of justify how you could bring guns into that. Because otherwise, it'd just be a big shootout, as most 40K things are. Just boils down to. Well, I gotta change my accessibility. It's great, but you know. Let's make this L1 just in case. Going full out with the controls for this one because it's similar to shooter and strategy way I do things. Okay, there we go. Now, okay, so that's the official lead ladder season. There is actual. The one good thing I will say that they of course they realize this is a Warhammer. No shooting, just football with factions. There, I mean, yeah, I guess there'd be more powers and stuff the creatures would have, and you'd have a little more versatility. Plus, Necrons as a football team would just be hilarious. Like, they don't need guns. I feel like that alone is just hilarious in itself as a team. I think the other one would be also Tyranids. That would be just. They'd be like the Skaven, but instead of being small and scurry and more dodgy, they'd be like, we're just going to overwhelm you. And just two of us means four of us. Cheats and people from the sideline jump in. Like there's like jumpers that jump in from the sideline and pop. Tau mechs holding the ball, yeah. Well, no, the Tau mechs. There are big units in this game already, so the Tau mechs would just be a defender or something big that just hits things really hard, or does other things. Usually, the bigger boys don't do the ball stuff. They tend to do the defending or the pushing. That is actually even a thing in this game. They've done it a lot better with this one. The balance between what the small characters do and the versatility of what the teams and species are capable of seems a lot better in this one than two was. It's still got a lot of the same meat in what two had, but here we go. This is the main campaign now. Imperial Guard trying to keep their players alive. That would be well. They would be kind of like how I forget which one does that in here. Plays like that. It's one of the other human factions. They're very brittle, but they're really good at like auxiliary and like they won't die, but they'll take like some small injuries or knockouts and just accept that and just play that way. You kind of the Skaven kind of can do this too, depending on how you play them, but they're more risk of dying. That's why their dodge is so high. But I think it would be really cool. I agree. There would be some crazy cool combinations. Plus, I think the chaos sides would be you could have a lot more variations of them too. It's not just one pick from each one, or a few picks at least. This one has a little more than normal. Space Marines just normal front line. Yeah, they would be similar to the way the I feel like the Chaos Marines play in this. It's because you see that that's almost borderline 40k right there more than anything. So at least armor wise, size wise, when it comes to Space Marines. So I feel like they'd be probably play like what the Chaos do in this game, where it'd be a lot. It'd just be they're hard to hit. They're very tanky. They're very versatile too. The only thing I think difference with the Space Marines in 40k of this game, I bet you they wouldn't be too good with the ball. I bet you they'd have some antic with the ball. They could hit it or something, or they have one guy that's really good with it, and maybe it's the chainsword guy. Could be that. Yeah, and then yeah, you'd have the chainsword. That actually probably would be the ball carrier or the main front line's weapon. I actually think the ball carrier would benefit more from having that than as far as the Marines playstyle would be concerned. So this is all about that scary just power. It's like, well, even their ball carrier is dangerous. Jetpack Marine. That would be a good runner. I'd like that. Like that'd be a good. I think the thrower should have like a chainsaw. But yeah, I think but yeah, like the jetpack guys should be the runners, like the ones that jump and like can grab the ball faster, but they don't throw the ball, they just move with the ball. So you want to try to throw it to one of them. There's all kinds of things in this game. They did a lot better with the throwing stuff in this game too. And the versatility of the stats. We're gonna probably see. I don't know how much the tutorial is really gonna cover. There, you can see there's a lot of things. I'm gonna look at this real quick. What this is right here is this is kind of covers what the sponsors of each of the different places that you can have sponsor you. This is Slaughter Trade. You can probably guess who sponsors that. Um, and these are the things you get. So inducement cost is reduced by 50% for this match. This wandering apothecary can patch up your players in the same way as an apothecary. He can also patch up journeymen and mercenaries, but not star players. So even if you hire a bunch of mercenaries on the side, you can also do that with him. And he's also got for this match, you can purchase mercenaries at 30,000 above normal purchase price. These players have loner 4 plus. You can add a primary skill at the cost of 50,000. They cannot be hired after the match nor be MVP. Ooh, so that's a sacrifice. That's a corn blitzkrieg, is what that is. You are sacrificing being able to hire said mercenary after the match if you like how they play, because that's a good way to get new players if you're running low, or if you lost someone to scout out for new players while you're playing. Um, but the cost is if you do pull this trigger, you can no longer hire them afterwards, but they will be a super, super annoying one man army. Because that means they get a +4 on all their dice rolls with Loner. It's a very scary skill. And with the way the dice rolls are calculated now, it's more like the actual tabletop even more. That actually is really powerful. And then up here with the fitness club, this is what we're going to be having for our tutorial. Grants you a team reroll for each half of the match. For this match, so it gets a wandering apothecary. We don't have to read some of them that we've already read. Star players allows you to obtain the service of a star player for this match. Your team cannot have more than 16 players. If the opposition team hires the same star player, the money is lost and the star player is not hired. Yeah, that's the danger of being in the same species. Wizard. Once per match, you can use either a fireball or a zap spell. Oh, wow. That's different. I haven't seen that yet. This Plague Doctor allows you once per match to re-roll a failed regeneration test on one of your players. Alternatively, a Plague Doctor can be used in the same way as an Apothecary if a player is KO'd. Includes Journeyman, but neither Mercenaries nor the Star Yeah, so there's a difference. Okay, wow. There's a lot to this game now, as you can tell. So we're going to be learning a lot. By the way, I think you might be cooking with Total War 40K being a thing in the future. I mean, I know it's either going to be World War One or it's going to be Total War 40. They're going to just jump straight to 40K. And the funny thing is, neither argument is invalid because, and I can't find a way to make one a little bit more legit than the other. Because you can say, oh, but 40K is a big deal. Well, would they already have successful agreements and games with Total War with CA? So why not let them have a Total War 40K game? It seems like an easy step. So that's why that one says so much legitness. Plus, with all the guns, no offense, like you're gonna sit there and tell me that DLC we just got wasn't somewhat of a test of something? They added a chainsword to Warhammer 3. Wait, what? Really? Who has that? Who gets that? You tell me right now, Fuzzy. I love me some chainswords. Probably my favorite thing about 40K, even though I'm a orc boy. Or technically also Slanesh. But if there were Skaven, but there's not. Or at least not yet. Random legendary weapon that can be found. Ooh. I'm gonna be on the lookout for that while we play with against James. Do you know what type of heroes equip it? Like who can actually use it the most? Can any of the ladies people use it? Could you imagine giving my gunner a chainsword? Now he has a minigun and a chainsword? I feel like that'd be broke. And this is without mods. Just want to point out like how crazy vanilla has also just become because of all that. And this is without radios, without World War II mods, stuff like that. I think they could because it's very good melee weapon. Oh well, that's if it's equipable by my minigun commander, he's getting it. Because now, okay, he's shooting you with a minigun. He's mowing people down as they run at him with zombies, whatever it may be, chaos, whatever. They get in range. You're like, we've got him now. What the hell is that? We're about to find out. Plus, I can imagine the melee attack on that thing is insane. So it's going to make him hit really hard. It'll make his melee attack, which is normally pretty medium. It's in between with the gun guy. Also, they added the new creature tab gunship. Oh, no, well, that's probably for James's side, technically for the game's purposes. But I see what you mean. Don't know. Maybe. Maybe it turns out to be 40K. I'm not against either. Like I said, I'm down with both. I'll buy both. I'll buy both. Make both. I'll do both. Make them both right now. Don't make them both right now, but make them both eventually. Like do the safe thing and make one now, make one later. But I'll take either because I do want to see what CA can do with more gunplay style of real-time strategy game, especially with how they do their cinematics and the way they do their gaming. Their engines cannot speak. So, but let's start the fitness club. I don't know what that just did. I clicked it before it clicked before I could do anything. It's probably automatic. Year 2049, 2499. 20,000 years before 40K. No, I'm just kidding. 6 of the most influential brands of the whole world decided to host an extraordinary tournament. The clash of sponsors. The best team answers the call for a tournament which will mark the history of Blood Bowl. Is this like the beginning games, like when they first did Blood Bowl 1? That'd be kind of cool. Cabal Wizen Vision present Wizen. I didn't get to read that. Six infamous coaches. Was that Lokier? Oh God. No, no, no. This is a weird, crazy opening. So is this before Blood Bowl
Hey
like
there,
became Blood Bowl?
loser.
What the heck?
You really thought that Blood Bowl was just about spilling
Is this an
blood and
actual
wrenching
cutscene?
balls? You're in the big leagues now.
In the big leagues
That's
now.
why you need a sponsor. Win your games and I'll get you some contracts with the most powerful companies of the old world. Remember, with big money comes big trickery.
Wow. Okay. Match 1, the Old World Alliance. That'll sound good. Orquitas Fitness Club. Oh, it's an orc team, isn't it? Yes, please tell me it's an orc team. It looks like an orc team, clearly. Orquitas Fitness Club, the new chain of sports clubs, fostered by the sportswear giant Orquitas, is the sponsor of the competition that is placed under the banner of pure violence. All right, let's do it. And now your host, Orquitas, is proud to present the first coach of the Clash of Sponsors. Oh, yep. Raw Gow Chewer. Or Ghoul Chewer.
Meet former captain of the Gouged Iron star player, Varag Ghoul Chewer.
Ghoul Chewer.
Tactical player, which is rare for an orc. Makes him really dangerous. He kept his team on top of the league for 6 straight seasons.
Today, Varag is the coach of the outsiders.
I can't wait to see what will ooze out of that vicious mind.
They should have went big green threads. I mean, they need to go faster, right? From what is that explanation, it sounds like the orcs for his team were really aggressive and really quick. What is this team? So, are we playing as the coach with a random team? This is different. Now you can do just a pure one species team as well, but it looks like this is a mixed team. Introduction. Blood Bowl welcomes you. This tutorial will explain the rudimentaries of the game. Get ready to break some jaws.
Kid, listen to me. I'm gonna teach you the tricks of the trade.
The aim of the game is simple. Score touchdowns by taking the ball into the opposition's end zone. The team with the most touchdowns at the end of the match is declared the winner.
This competition is sponsored by Orchidas.
Let's hope it's better put together than their pants.
Position of the ball. The position of the ball is clearly visible thanks to the blue halo. Right now it is close to the end zone of your team. Thanks to Cabal Vision's camera boom technology, you have an aerial view of your players. Begin by changing position of the camera by...
There is no need to
Oh.
introduce Orchidas, the preferred equipment supplier of
I
Chaos
didn't know we
Team.
could do that.
That's not all, Jim. They're also the ones with the biggest sizes. I get my stuff from there.
Ah, well, that explains several
All right.
things.
Now that you have acquired the basics, this game isn't going to be won without your involvement. Select the player close to the ball by moving your cursor and then hitting X, and then plan a move. Oh, he just wants me to move. Okay, that's weird. Why not go for the ball?
A loose ball is a dangerous ball.
Some stride. The movement allowance, MA, that's the top one. This will teach all the stats to anyone who doesn't know what these stats mean. Which this game's got a way better tutorial than this game ever did. I do love it. And the customization, see those cheerleaders with red hair with the chickens and the boar heads in their hands? They look like they're from Kislev. I want to point out, like, you can customize your cheerleaders, who they are, what species, everything. Depending on what team you are and what you chose, and da-da-da-da-da. This game's a lot more in-depth than the last version was, and I appreciate that, because I really do love this game. I love a lot of turn-based strategy games, but There isn't too many football games I'll play because I'm not a football. I don't really play football games, as we made the joke about Madden earlier. But this is probably the only one I will play. Some stride. The movement allowance MA characteristic indicates the number of squares that player can move. This is shown on the profile of the selected player, so 6 squares. Continued. I can only imagine what the dark elves get. They actually get all kinds of choices you wouldn't imagine, but one of them is probably the obvious one you're thinking about. But there's actually ones you wouldn't probably expect either. Continue your turn by no. You know which one survives me the most, which is kind of messed up because we all know how terrible the Skaven cities are in certain ways. There is the Skavens have cheerleaders now. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's like it turns out they do sometimes get to come out of novels. It's terrible. It's terrible. Continue your turn by planning a move of action of your player onto the square, continuing the ball. All right, well, let's do it. Now, agility. This is what determines picking up the ball. This is why Tam King. I don't think you really tell much. The only reason why I can kind of tell it probably is went that far is that they covered up an area that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, none of the other rats care about this. That seems strange. So it's like, I only know this because of my cheerleaders I had. Because you can do taunts to the enemy team with your star player, depending on how you have things set up and all kinds of things from your sideline, or stuff to inspire your team and stuff like that. And in the halftime, I saw them like, the hell? They never had cheerleaders of their own. You used to only have that could do humans, dwarves, ogres. What was the other one? Goblins. And that's it, I think. What, you wanted them to go out where the... No. That'd be terrible. Although, I think that's the kind of represent that even here, the Skaven don't really care. Which is terrible. That's why I said, this is why Dark Elves are better, at least in that aspect. It's even Stevens on both sides. If you want true even Stevens, Dark Elf. Don't trust Skavens in that aspect. They're just good at blowing stuff up. That's why I only like Icket. And also the numbers. The xenomorph number thing is never a thing, something to shake a stick at. Will he do it? He did it. He rolled a 4. In Blood Bowl, most actions are rolled by dice rolls, or resolved by dice rolls, using a random generator that will screw you. Sorry. That has been certified as beyond reproach. By the NFA. Yeah, beyond reproach. Not broken at all, not one-sided at all. Not gonna roll a 1 on me when I need a 4 at least. It's not asking much, or even a 2. And it goes 1. Just like it did to Tam King. Welcome, Tam King, by the way. Good timing. We're starting the tutorial in the campaign to learn how to play this game all over again. Also, if you missed anything and you want to rewind, it's explaining what the stats do. We just explained the better your AG stat is, the better you're going to have a chance at picking up the ball. I thought it was MA, but it's MA is your movement, which can affect your AG depending on if you move too far and you have to pick up the ball. You're going to have to roll a higher dice roll. But the AG is what determines. So this guy's he has to roll a +3 to pick up the... If he rolls anything as a 3 or higher, he'll get it. If it's lower than that, he'll fumble. On a six-sided dice, D6, a natural roll of 6 means automatic success, while a natural roll of 1 means automatic failure. You thus have at least one chance out of 6 of succeeding, an almost impossible action. and same chance of failing the most trivial of actions.
Basic principles are beginning to sink in.
Which in itself is encouraging.
I wouldn't go that far.
Continue your turn by selecting this player and planning a move action to the indicated square. You got it, game. I understand what you're doing. Yeah, now, so is this going to be determined by agility? Yeah. So this dodging is also determined by AG. So when you're running outside of a zone, the zone is the squares you see around the player that you're trying to get away from. It's one square in all directions around a player. When you if you have a player, one of your players is in any of these squares, which is called a tackle zone, and if you try to move them out of it, you will be forced to roll a dice to try to roll for a dodge. He has to roll a 3 or a 3 plus in order to dodge. If he rolls any lower than a 3, he will get slapped. That's actually pretty good, because that's a really, really, really good number. Because you want it to be low. Because you want it, like if he had a 2 plus, that means his agility is so high, he barely has to roll anything to win and get a success. He'd have to roll a 1 basically at that point. The Skaven are good at that. So are the Dark Elves. I think the Skaven have the best dodge, depending on the player you're using. The type, like Gutter Runners are insane. They dodge really impossible odds. Now that was a more simple way to explain it. I'm gonna read what it says as well to double down. This player is being marked because he is inside of a tackle zone of an opponent. There are 8 squares that surround a player, 1 in each direction. Leaving a tackle zone requires a successful agility test. Failing the dodge can lead to a player falling over, or for most unlucky, death. Because that's a big difference. He's either going to fall over and bump his head, or he's going to fall over and someone's going to kill him. Or he's going to fall over and break his neck. It could happen too. This display indicates the threshold of a success for an agility test. A threshold of 3 plus requires a result of 3 or more. So you see how I already said that. On a D6 to pass this test. Confirm the declaration to attempt this dodge. He succeeded. He rolled a 5. The log, which my face is covering, but it shows it above their heads too. The log at the bottom left of your screen records all actions and their results. The display can be extended in order to improve readability. Now that you have activated a second player, you will notice that the previous one who picked up the ball has become inactive. A white circle is at his feet turned red. In Blood Bowl, players can only be activated one after another. Think about it as a sequence of actions for one player before the next one. I'm hearing in the headphones that the quota of our lost or broken teeth has not been reached yet this month. Select the indicated player and let's rectify that problem. You got it, Captain. You got it, tutorial guy. So let's learn about how dice rolls when fighting happens. Or tackling, I should call. Even though they sometimes will kill each other. So it's more fighting than tackling. During a block, you compare the strength, the ST stat, of both players. If the values are equal, only 1 dice is rolled. Execute the declaration to start the block. Press go. We have rolled, I forget what this is. The block dice are D6 whose sides display the result of combat. You got a POW result. The best possible outcome, yeah. Because this is like a pushback and it's going to knock them down. Or maybe even worse, knock them out or kill them. Select the block you want. Which we want that now. We select the section that we want to push that player to. Now, because it's a push type, I can choose where they want to go. Now, we're going to put here because the tutorial wants me to go there. Now it wants me to follow them. So now here, since it's... Oh, he's saying it up there, but I'll say it as well. A player can follow up an opponent that has been pushed back. This keeps him in his tackle zone. So if I follow up, I'm going to go, like it says, keep 1 square away from my opponent. I will follow him to wherever I tackled him to, 1 square away. or I can stay put and open myself up to where I want to run away or do other things with this player. We are going to follow up because it wants me to. And he was stabbed.
Gotta be careful. Nothing works every time.
Now, AW, that's what it is. So, or AV. He has to roll an armor value roll, which I'm going to read right now. And that determines whether he was injured, knocked out, or he's just knocked down and has to stand back up next turn. Nice blow. Are those teeth over there on the pitch? The block ends the activation of the player for this turn. You can no longer move this player after this action, and until next turn. You have no remaining players who can be activated during this turn. When this happens, go to the next turn by pressing the touchpad. Challenge completed. You are ready to move on. Let's go to the next challenge. Action wheel and superior strength. Following a short ellipsis, let's see how the match has advanced. The current situation will allow you to learn more about the block action and its effects. To begin with, select the designated player who is close to the opposition's pipsqueak. Roger. The action wheel allows you to allows you to choose from all the actions available to your player, as well as carry out special actions linked to skills. Right, that's something I wasn't doing and I didn't remember either. I forgot about that. I wasn't even doing that when me and Tam King were playing. Yeah, because they'll get special skills I can do before even initiating or whatever that may cause different other effects. This action will special actions linked to skills. You can also check the details of each action. Open the wheel by holding down X and then selecting block action. Whoa! Oh, right. I could have been kicking Tam King's players while. That's right. That's what the rats are supposed to do. I'm supposed to stab them I'm supposed to stab while they're on the ground. I forgot. Because you can stand up, hand off, which allows the ball to be given to a teammate. This is different than a pass. That's move or jump over. Allows an attempt to jump over a square occupied. Whoa! That's new. That was not allowed, I don't think, in Blood Bowl 2. So plan a block. Confirm your choice by pressing. Okay. Hold on. So hold down X. Then select block action with this by releasing. Did that work?
Varag, he's a coach who keeps a tight grip.
Okay. I
Slave
see.
Who whips his players. A real textbook case.
And that clearly was a Dark Elf coach that they were referencing. Praise Zeech, don't bless your dice as he did Tam King, right? Right now we have the advantage, but that don't mean nothing in this game. We have more strength. All right, now we're going to learn about strength advantage. The more strength advantage you have, the more dice you have to roll to choose from to get a better outcome. Even then, though, you could have 4 dice, right? 4 dice. Rolls 4 d6s. All of them roll that red skull you see right there. XCOM. All right, when you compare the strength ST values of 2 players, you will see you have an advantage. Superior strength allows 2 block dice to be rolled, so twice the chance of getting a favorable result. The number of dice to be rolled is displayed over the head of the target during planning. Your opponent will regret having left his old world halfling hopeful inside the tackle zone of your player. Press square to initiate the block.
Oh, too easy.
It would seem that you don't have what it takes. See it roll 2. See, that's the XCOM logic. It's forcing the rolls right now, it seems, though. Like, it's not actually using RNG. it's picking dice to give me examples of what's happening. That would be a pretty bad roll, but at least we'd still get to push him. We could push him into up away from my my dude with the ball and lock him down. It'll also move us closer to my dude where we can support him later. That is what is probably going to want us to do. Action wheel and superior strength. It would seem that you don't have what it takes to flatten your opponent. Be careful, the dice with a skull is called a player down, a result that you do not want. It is the same as rolling a 1 result on a d6. The attack went badly and is the attacker who gets knocked down. Your best choice in this dice is the arrow icon. This result is called a pushback. It allows your opponent to be pushed back by 1 square without knocking him down. As for the power result, you must choose the destination square and decide whether your player will follow up or not. So select that and select one of these squares. So we're going to want to push him that way, away from our dude. It wants me to follow him.
Each season, the new Orchidass collection brings joy and poverty to the followers of fashion.
Alright, so that's their guy with the ball in our case, so we need to take him out.
Fascinating.
You have a player adjacent to the opposition ball carrier. Plan a block action on the ladder in the way that you wish, making a second act selection with X on an opposition player, or by holding the X down in order to do that. We're not going to be doing any prone stuff, so a normal selection works, right? So it'd be, yeah, we could do any of those. That's cool. So yeah, we want to do it that way. Don't forget to execute the declaration. So now we just got to see what happens to see if it's going to, power result. All right, yeah. It's definitely rigging the dice right now. So I can push him in any way we want. Well, we want to keep him away from the halfling. So let's push him up that way, and I get to choose the option. I'm going to follow up. Injured! Serious injury. That means he's down for good. The ball carrier has bitten the dust. When the carrier is knocked down, he automatically releases the ball, which rebounds into one of the adjacent squares. Let us leap forward in time in order to put into practice what you've learned up until now. Next challenge.
Remember, always give the people what they want.
Advanced block and turnover. Now is the time to use what you've learned in order to win this match in the name of the Unsegen Rookies team. Unsegen Rookie team? Okay. Select the ogre on your team and plan a block action on the ridiculous old world halfling. Halfling hopeful that is adjacent to him. Wow, look at how many dice I get. Let's tear him to shreds. Yeah, the strength is so much higher. So there's 3 dice roll now. The ST advantage is enormous. More than double. This scenario allows you to roll for 3. I don't think you can get 4. I think the max is 3. It's either 1 ahead of the target is 2 dice. Double the target strength is 3 dice. I think that's the max. Korn definitely invested in this game. Where is Scarbrand's board? He needs to be in this. Oh yeah, no, I think he has other people representing him. He didn't trust Scarbrand to have a team. It's probably some other Korn person. Well, hell, Valkia would probably make more sense. It's probably one of Valkia's teams. At least from the Total War perspective. If you're including all of them, then there's a bunch of examples. But, all right, let's tear him
I
apart.
should probably say something meaningful to all our Cabal Vision viewers.
3 results are available to you. Use what you've learned to make your choice. Well, we want that. We're going to do that, and we're going to choose an option. I'll follow up. Goodbye, little halfling. The match goes on. Execute a block action by this new player against the opponent who is Okay, yeah. So that guy, huh? See, it's forcing me to do certain ones right now. All right, you're gonna get a one. Validate. Well, that's not good.
That's going to cost.
Oh
Now it's
dear,
the other
Lucky
team's
Luck
turn.
has finally changed sides. Select pair down and prepare to grit your teeth.
Hey,
Yeah, it
it's
on
all part
purposely
of the
did it
learning
that
process.
time. In Blood Bowl, the failure of an action causes a turnover. A turnover brings an immediate end of your turn. Blood Bowl is a game that challenges you to plan an order of your actions, according to risks involved. Plan wisely in order to lessen the gravity of the premature end of your turn. Yep, yep.
What
Next
do you think about
challenge.
what just happened, Bob?
Standing your players up.
Who
A
needs
new
to learn
turn
the rules
begins. In
anyway?
this situation, you have a player who is in difficulty. A player who is flat out on the pitch and is an easy target and can no longer tackle opposition players. Stand this player up by pressing X once more on his square. He can also do it via the action wheel by holding X down on him, and then, yeah. Okay. Stand him up. You notice that you can no longer plan a block action with this player. A player can only perform one type of action during standard activation. Standing up is considered a move action, and so during this turn there is only two choices. Continue to move your move action or stay put. Standing a player costs up to 3 movement allowance, 3 points. Your player still has some of his points left. Continue his move action by removing him from the opponent's tackle zone and placing him in the indicated square to help someone else, basically, yeah. All right, go. He rolled a 6. Remember that opponent who retains his tackle zone will automatically attempt to tackle when your player tries to escape. The dodge skill of your player allowed him to reduce the risk,
I get the feeling there are going to be some fireworks.
aka AG. The opposition ball carrier is inside the tackle zone of your ogre. Quite a big mistake. Give him a demonstration of brutality by the difference in strength between these two players. Plan a block. Roger. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, let's read what this one is. This is a different outcome type. This face of the dice corresponds to the stumble result. The effect is similar to a POW if the opponent doesn't have the dodge skill. Your target has no such advantage. You can choose this result without any worries to knock him down. Yeah. So if my opponent has the dodge skill or block or one of the skills that evades this, that means now he can technically survive these hits even though they're normally going to hit him as well. These are not as guaranteed as the power result, like he said. The power result is the best result you can get. And there's very few perks that get rid of it. Yeah. Push back before being knocked down, yeah. So if he has a passive that keeps the knockdown from happening, it'll cancel it out. And it wants us to bring him over here to our other player. Yep, and follow him. Bow!
How are they going to catch or run with a ball?
Good.
Constantly
See, that's
riding
something
along
I
with
would
the
have done,
crowd.
to be fair, yep. You have wiped out the opposition's ball carrier. The ball rebounded into a free square. A perfect opportunity to make a final sprint. One of your players is perfectly positioned to attempt this action. Select him and confirm a move to the square containing the ball.
Player down and surrounded by the opposing team. This isn't going to be
Now make him run to the end zone. Your player can try to make a rush your player can try to rush an extra 2 squares beyond his movement allowance. They are shown by the explanation marks. To move into each of these squares, a roll of a d6 is required. On a result of 1, your player falls over, and it's a turnover. However, you've got to take the risk if you want to win. Execute a declaration. Go for it.
He's sprinting. Let's hope it's going to be okay.
He did it. Touchdown! Yeah. Unsungen rookies. The models look so much better on all the models. Wow. They even changed. There's even different types of human cheerleaders now. That must be their cheerleaders I saw. Yeah, ours are the blonde standard cheerleaders. They've got redhead serving Fork's head. Touchdown! I know what Korn can do to punish Scarbrand. Put him in this, but all his cheerleaders are Slanesh Damonets. And he can't claim skulls. That's true. That would be hilarious. Now it's teaching us how to set up a defensive lineup against our opponent, which technically is what we already have. We basically made that touchdown on their turn. Touchdown! Congratulations on this victory. You have displayed your mastery of the Blood Bowl basics by allowing the Unsungen Rookies team to win their first match. Well, oh, okay. There were still like a lot of turns left. Actually no. There's only 8 innings in that one, so there were still 3 turns left, or 3 cycles. All right, next one. Oh boy. Yup, this is going to be a chaos team. And then that last one's an orc team, it looks like. Or it's going to be who I'm going up against. Maybe that's who I'm challenging, is what I'm thinking. So let's do that. We're fighting chaos. I like there's actual cutscenes now, too. I like it's an orc. Of course my coach is an orc, by the way, for this campaign. I didn't even plan that. Oh, what's up, boys? The claws of chaos.
Good evening to all you sports fans.
Also, the stadiums are so beautiful now. So over the top as they should be with Warhammer. Are they Beastmen? Oh no, I think it's Beastmen. That's why there's nothing on the sidelines. That's kind of cool. So the Beastmen don't have anything on their sidelines, really. That's weird. Hold on, let me go look. It's definitely Beastmen. Oh, can I look? Oh, I can't move my cursor. Welcome to this second Blood Bowl match with the Unsungen Rookies team. We'll explore some advanced concepts so that you will shine during the Cabal Night Blood Bowl. We'll now take a look at some less commonplace declarations. They are limited in the number of uses per turn, but they are handy in order to perform a series of actions during a single action of a player. Select this player by using the X button. It wants me to blitz. Move your cursor into this opposition player and press X to plan a blitz in declaration. A blitz declaration is usable once per turn. Allows you to combine a move action and a block action. Once a blitz is declared, declaration planned, execute it. Roger. So that, then that. And that declares the blitz. Let's do it. Blitzing! Good blitz. Good blitz. Wants me to follow.
Get up or get off the field.
Get that, Beastman. All right. Well done. Note that the player, you can still perform an action after his block. Blitz declaration allows a move before, as well as a block action. Make the most of the activation by positioning this same player on the indicated square. Yeah, so he can move over here and prepare to help.
So, Varag, what have you got to tell us about this team?
Like all teams, it has good qualities and bad ones.
Go on.
They don't hit hard enough, but I show them how to.
That was a priceless, very, Very, very cute little voice for an orc, a very mean orc. It's funny how tame they have to be for this universe because of its football. Yeah, they die and do kill each other, but it's also still just football at the same time. It's weird. But that was our orc coach talking because that's what that cutscene was. He's inside the announcer's booth right now while the game's going on and commentating on his strategy and how he trained these guys and how orky he was on them to make them hit harder. The Blitz declaration is one of the declarations that can be performed once per turn. You cannot perform another Blitz during this turn, but nothing prevents you from continuing to perform block actions in the standard way. These two players have equivalent strength, but your other players can assist their teammate to give them an advantage.
Now listen up.
Select this other player and place him on the indicated square next. Yeah. So this is going to teach. See these little power squares? This is what determines how much strength they lose when there's another person around them, or when the attack is initiated. So if I put this halfling here, it's going to draw his strength down to, I think, a 2. So we're going to get 2 dice. If I did my math correct. Let's see. Oh, I got to select the halfling. Let's move him here. And now we select our other guy. And I'm going to read this before I initiate. As long as he is not marked, the player that you have placed, marked means he's in the tackle zone of another player. If that halfling had someone to his top right, that means he no longer counts as an assistance towards the guy to his teammate to his left. So he wouldn't help with this tackle. If there was someone in front of him, someone behind him, or in any of the squares that's not the one we're assisting with. As the place next to the opponent provides an assist to his teammate. An assist provides 1 strength bonus. So I did it backwards. So it'll be an ST4 for our dude attacking. So he'll roll 2 dice still. So your player can now roll 2 dice. Yep. Boom, boom.
Attacker has an assist.
Ooh, that's a double down is what that is. Not good results. Player down means that only your player is down. Both down means both players are down. That's your best option, and it means twice as much blood. And it means twice as much blood. Wow. Turnover. Claws of Chaos. Offer an assist to teammates, which when an action is failed, it brings about a turnover, an immediate end of your turn of the active team. Let's advance a few turns in order to get a look at use of skills, of key skills. Limited use declarations. Your team begins a new turn. The limited use declaration counter is reset at the start of each turn. The number of blitz declarations is back to 1 in the declaration bar. This blitzer is in a good position to breach the opposition defensive line. Select him and then plant a block on the indicated player by using the action wheel or moving the cursor onto him and pressing X. So, yeah, it wants us, okay. So it wants us to blitz this guy. Yeah, but because he's a blitzer, blitzers get block. So what block does is when it's a double down, and Tam King actually had the advantage in this when we were playing. The dwarves have a lot of this. Like dwarves have a bunch of block skills. So when you get a double down where both players are supposed to go down, any player who has the block skill is going to negate that and stay up. If they both have it, neither goes down and nobody moves. But watch as this happens now. I'm going to read what he says up here, though. Another both down result. However, the blitzer that you have activated has an advantage, the block skill. Confirm the dice roll in order to see it.
Jeremiah.
So he still knocked him down, even though it was that.
Their skills
Your
prevail.
player was not knocked down. The block skill prevents you from being knocked down in the case of a both down result.
This pitch
Each time a player
reminds
is
me
knocked down,
strangely of a
an armor
rubbish
value,
It brings some
AV roll,
variety to the
is
action
made
and
against
makes
him.
the players
If the
more
roll
creative.
is successful, the armor value is broken, then the player can be injured. Oh, if the roll is successful. The armor value is broken, and the player can be injured. The log shortcut at the bottom of the list left of the screen details what just happened. The AV of the player is 9, and the armor value of the roll is 10. The armor value is broken. The opponent was stunned, but it could have been a lot worse. Yeah. So if your AV is like, so mine is a 9 plus, right? So that means it has to roll higher than a 9 with 2 dice. Now that's not that hard. It just has to roll a 4 and a 5 or higher. And that guy rolled a 5 and a 5 because he had a plus 9 as well. And the dice roll was a 10, so he was stunned. Now, he can be KO'd, he can be killed, and he can be injured. And that's determined in a different roll, I think, right after that. I'd have to look at it. What button did it say? That? Yeah. Suffers stun, injury, +2 is stunned, yeah. I don't know what the roll has to be killed once the AV has failed. Did you see how I rolled a second roll? That was to determine the type of injury. Was it just a stun or was it a lot worse? But I don't know what the number value. I think it needs to roll higher than a 6 for it to be an injury of time. I think it's a knockout, but higher. I don't know. I have to look at it. I'll have to read the details every now and then and see which ones rolled injuries and which numbers it kind of determines on that. I do like they make that a lot easier to see now, though. The armor value AV of the player is 9, so rolled 10. The armor value was broken. The opponent was stunned, but it could have been a lot worse. The stun status temporarily impairs a player by preventing them from standing up before a complete whole turn. Moreover, a player who is down loses a tackle zone as well. But why stop there? Making a player stun isn't bad, but we can do a lot better. First, let's select the designated player. Finish what you started. Plan a foul by moving your cursor over to the opposition player and pressing X on them or by opening the wheel. Holy wow. So now it's a +10 to injury. So I think if it rolls higher than a 10, he's going to be killed, wounded, or something's going to happen. Let's see. Bow! Knockout. Because it was higher up, and then there's another roll to determine what kind of injury it was again. A foul declaration can only be used once per turn. It allows you to combine a move action and a foul action against an opponent who is lying on the pitch. A foul action immediately triggers an armor value roll, and if it's successful, an injury test against the player lying on the pitch. So let's see. I can't see it because of my face. I'm going to move my face real quick to the bottom right for the tutorial. I don't need to see that down there. That way we can see this. So, armor value, it rolled higher. It rolled a 9, so +1, so it was a success. Because it was a 10, because it got a modifier, because he was on the ground. The injury rolled a 5 plus a 3, so that's 8. So I was right. Higher than the 6 must be knockout. So I wonder what would determine serious injury. It must be higher than 10? Or higher than 12, possibly. Well, no, 12 is the highest, because it can be only 2 6s at highest. So it's probably higher than 10. So he barely got out of an injury. But he was knocked out, so he cannot come back for the rest of this game. A foul action is immediate and it can be used if the opponent was KO'd. He was immediately removed from the pitch and will have to wait for a new drive before any hope of standing up. Or new drive. I think that means when I do a kickoff is what that should be. I think that's what that means. As soon as we do a new proper like kickoff, he'll at least get brought back because he was only knocked out. Before any hope of standing up. 50% chance at the start of each drive. Ah, okay. A drive also might be each main turn, like every turnover as well. Could mean that as well. All right. Now let's move. Now let us move to a secret of successful foul. To the secret of a successful foul. Move a. Oh no. That's new. You couldn't do that in 2. We're literally gonna jump him. Move a few players around the chosen blocker who is lying on the pitch. Make sure that your players aren't being marked once they are in place. Reminder, being marked means being inside the tackle zone. Wow. Begin with the indicated player. All right, you're going to walk me through it? Okay.
Player down and surrounded by the opposing
This
team.
is going to be bad. This is going to be very, very bad.
Get in there!
I think he's going to make him.
Oh, no. Each teammate. Yeah, that one's not assist. Each teammate providing assist reduces by 1 the result required to successfully break the armor value. Wow, we only need a 7 or higher. That's really low. Successfully break the armor value. Rick, go! Execute. Order 66. Death!
And that block!
Well, he's dead. We're going to read what those results said.
So, Varag, what have you got to tell us about this team?
Like all teams, it has good qualities and bad ones.
Go on.
They don't hit hard enough, but I show them how to.
Okay, so, wow, all right. Armor value plus 10, but we had a plus 3 modifier because of the injury and all that, because we had 3 extra people. We rolled a 3 and a 4, so 7 plus 3. Yep, we beat it. Oh, barely though. So we beat it by the exact one. And then the injury rolled a 10. So maybe 10 is a casualty or injury of some sort. So maybe when you roll a 10, there's one more roll. I don't know what that at the bottom is. Then it rolled a 16, which equals dead. So they have to roll a 10 or a higher to be injured. And then once the injury occurs, it rolls another 2 sets of dice, maybe 3. That actually might have been a 20-sided die. That's a 20-sided die is what that is. So 16 and higher is dead minimum. At least we know. It might be 15 and higher. That is insanity. But at least we're now understanding how the dice rolls work. I feel like I like that better than XCOM because that kind of makes more sense to what the rolls are happening. It's still RNG, boo 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 blah blah. But you know, argue the call. Okay. The referee noticed something. This is new. A foul carries the risk of a player being caught in the act. Fortunately, the argue the call option brings in your coach, who has a small. Well, I don't know if he's going to win that. Our coach is an orc. He's not too good at arguing. He's good at punching, unless the argument involves punching. A foul. You call in the coach. He has a small chance of dissuading the referee from sending off the player. So I assume we want. Yeah, we want to argue the call. We can also bribe him. All right, so it wants me to argue the call.
I think that player was sent off, Jim.
Yes, Bob. But I think the referee just changed
Did he?
his decision.
Yeah, I rolled a 6. So let's see what that roll said. So I called, referee argued the call. I rolled a 6, which was success automatically, and now it's turnover, but my halfling didn't get sent off the field. Nice. Your luckier player will not be sent off. The opposition player won't be setting foot on the pitch in the near future. Your foul action broke his armor value, and the injury roll led to a casualty roll, meaning serious injury for the opposition player. In his case, death. You can see all the results by checking the log. KO'd or injured players are placed on the dugout of your team. A player who is KO'd has a 50% chance of recovering at the start of each drive. If successful, he can be placed back on the pitch during a setup phase. A player who suffers a casualty is off the pitch for the rest of the match. Information about the injury or casualty suffered by a player are found on his profile. To toggle inspection, press R1 to magnify. How do I, okay. Oh, well, I can't see it on this, but okay. Next challenge.
Now, that's important.
Pass declaration. Now we're going to get to see passing the ball. Let us move the match forward to encounter a new situation. You have the opportunity to score a touchdown. Start by selecting your thrower and then plan a pass by moving your cursor onto his nearby catcher. Catch your teammate and pressing X. Okay. So we want it on this guy. Really, to be fair, it says catcher, but... Oh, because his PA is +5? I think that's what it is. But we'll work through it and let it do it so we see what it's doing. Okay, let's read this. The success of a pass is determined by the PA characteristic of your thrower. This profile tells you he has a PA of 2+, meaning success with a roll of 2 or more on a D6. Yeah, our passer's really good. But the catch is determined by agility. Very good. Smart. That's cool. But looks like the pass adds 1. So he has to roll a +4 instead of a +3. Because it's a pass. Because he has to catch it from a pass. Interesting. Let's see. PA of +2 meaning a successful roll. So execute the pass.
Great pass. But can they capitalize?
There are different types of passes that depend on the distance between your thrower and his target. The further the target, the greater the penalty added to the PA test of your thrower. And I'm pretty sure it's also added to the penalty of the agility test of the catcher as well. I'm pretty sure. If the test is successful, the ball goes directly into the targeted square. Otherwise, the ball deviates or simply falls from the thrower's hands in the case of a total failure. That's why Tamkin kept losing his ball. Oh, that's what probably I should have had you do. I should have had you passing the ball between them 1 square away from each other, Tam King. But I couldn't remember that being a thing. I did not remember it. It's been so long. You would have had to have them 1 square away from each other to pass the ball between each other without having to worry about the PA skill. Then it would just be AG. AG skill alone. Agility. Otherwise, yeah, it would follow the result. The catch test is the catch test is based upon the agility of a player. Each opponent adjacent to a player who is attempting to catch adds a penalty of 1 to the catch test. Oh, that's why. Because he's blocked by another player. That's how interceptions can happen too. Just like in real football, but it'll automatically fumble it if it rolls real bad into one of the nearby enemy players' hands. And then they're going to take a roll to try to hold on to the ball. Let's see. Each opponent adjacent to a player who is attempting a catch adds a penalty of 1 to the catch test. To score a touchdown, you'll have to pass the ball to a teammate. Start by selecting your new ball carrier. Yeah, but he's not got good PA. This might not go good. Oh, it wants me to hand it off, so it wants me to run over there and do it. Into a handoff. There we go. All right, validate. Go, go, go.
You gotta calculate the
Nice.
risks for each action.
Your receiving player is close to the end zone. Confirm a movement into it in order to score a touchdown. Go, go, go. Touchdown! They scored! They scored! We win again! Because these games are so long, usually only 1 to 2 touchdowns per team happen. Unless they both have the same score, then it continues into overtime until somebody gets one. And then they win.
It's a fresh start.
Or everyone
But
dies.
it can start all over again.
The claws of chaos are doing terrible. A new victory for the Unsing rookies. There remains one last match for them to win in order to attract the attention of a generous sponsor to you. Challenge completed. Alright, now we have to fight other orcs. Actual orcs. He's probably fighting his original team, I assume. So I bet you this story is this orc left his original orc team to become a coach and is now coaching a different team that's not orcs. And I bet you we're about to have a match in the tutorial against the other orcs. Let's do it. Cabal Vision. Commercial break.
Tired
Wow.
of being trampled? Dreaming of the big guy silhouette?
Run faster, you runts! I'm Varagoolchewer.
And I'm Lord Borak.
We at Oculus have developed a personalized training program. for
Lord
these
Borak is
guys.
clearly a corn
You'll be
coach.
out there crushing orcs in only 4 weeks. Join Fitness Club Oculus and finally become the big guy of the match.
That's cool. I love the cutscenes. They did so much
The
flavor
match is
with the
starting up again for the final
with the
challenge of
environment
this
and the
contest.
universe. I
Everything
do
will be
appreciate
decided
that.
now.
I'm gonna be buying the DLC teams at some point. The lizard men, the zombies, and the underworld denizens. Wow. Ghoul chewer. Is he gonna be a player for his own team in this match? I mean, that would be very orc. Or do we have to beat him? Welcome to the third match in charge of the Unsingen rookies. We'll look at some special actions as well as the use of skills. Also, the orcs look so cool in this one because they've got their proper Blood Bowl like armor and models now from the tabletop. Also, you'll notice the orcs do Johnny Cage's taunt from Mortal Kombat, where he does that little fishing reel where he puts up the middle finger. The universe has so much personality to it now. It's not just the normal Warhammer. Blood Bowl's starting to get some attention as well, which I do like. There it is, look. Alright. Welcome to this third match. We'll look at some special actions and use some
that
skills.
is walking onto the pitch to attack the opposing team's players,
Well, it's either that or beat up his own players.
proving that he can be magnanimous when he wants.
Yep. That's truly orcish. And he brought a doc just in case. Our apothecary is a doc. A mad doc or a weird boy, I forgot. I always forget the name. There's our star players that we can call in technically. But I haven't been told to do that yet. That's probably in a later match. Or this one. Could be this one. We'll start by taking a look at the blitz. Use the designated player to perform a blitz declaration. All right. He wants me to validate. A typical case of bad luck. Fortunately, you possess a team reroll that allows you to reroll all of your dice. Select the team reroll.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you get a certain amount per game.
Written. Players can barely
Or,
speak,
yeah, per
let
full
alone
match.
write.
That's
You
better.
should know.
Choose any
You've
of the
interacted
results.
enough.
Pow. That way. Oh, now my face is in the way again. Darn it. Right there. Let's try right there. Choose an option. I'll follow him.
The gouged a team written in the
Kick that
legends
goblin
of
in the
blood.
face.
And it was proved that it's not so much about passing the ball or scoring touchdowns.
Team rerolls
as
can
it
be
is
used
about
by
disabling
all manners
or killing
by all members
or
of your
both.
team. They allow you to re-roll the dice of an action whose result you don't suit you.
Kicking the muddy butts of a bunch
Select
of orcs
this other
ain't so
player and
bad.
plant a block
Not
action
bad
on
at
the
all, in fact.
microbe on the microbe standing next to him. It totally balanced and not hilarious. It totally balanced and not hilariously broken. Oh, I missed something. By the way, the Unification mod and Imperial Guard faction can recruit Blood Axe Orc mercenaries. That sounds broken amazing. Everything's broken. The Unification mod. I don't know why we don't just admit that now. We'll all enjoy it better. Different strengths. Oh yeah, because it's a goblin. Yeah, but he's got help from an orc though.
Varag Ghoul Chewer is almost
Oh
part
no,
of
he don't
Blood
because the
Bowl
orc's
royalty.
is in a
Anything
block
now.
zone.
He's been with the couch.
Teammates of the target offer no help because they're in the tackle zone. They're in another player's tackle zone. This is because the player being marked by at least one other opponent cannot offer assistance during a block or a foul action, even if it's just one. So both those orcs to the right of that goblin are not blocked necessarily or successfully going to be taken down, are currently being marked, so they cannot help this goblin in his woes. I promise they cannot recruit Gargants and Baneblades. That is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Also broke. That's what you want. Is this a blitzer? No, so we need to use another
That's
reroll.
what they signed up for, am I right?
Stumble. What skill? Uses the dodge skill. Oh, he has a dodge skill. Okay. I'm gonna... It doesn't matter, so I'm gonna follow up. Means he didn't get knocked down, but he did get pushed back. Unlike power result, the opposition player was not knocked down because he had the dodge skill and he was simply pushed back. That's like the same thing with block and the double down. The way is clear almost. Another way through the defense line is to jump over players lying on the pitch. Select the indicated player and place him next to the opposition player who is lying on the pitch. Jumping is considered a move action. Okay. Oh. Or just select that.
That's good, kid.
No.
Learn fast.
Hold your X selection on your player or on the opposition player in order to open the action wheel. Yeah, this one I have to do. Okay. And then I select there. Yep, okay. So now it's a +5. I have to roll to jump over him. Let's do it. He did not. Oh, and he died! Oh, ooh! A 15 or higher, I was right. So 10 or anything above a 10 is probably a major injury. Below 10 is probably a minor injury. Yikes. Use your apothecary. Yep, I can save them because I have an apothecary. It will keep them from dying or KO or any of those. Your player failed in action. Let me move my camera so I can read this. There's no good spot for my camera right now. I don't think I need to see the details down here anymore. I know what the numbers are now. Your player failed his action, and as such, each time the player falls flat on the pitch, an armor value roll is automatically triggered. When the armor value roll is successful, it is followed by an injury roll. If the latter is also successful, it's followed by a casualty roll. The casualty roll produces a bad result for you. But don't worry, your team hired an apothecary for this type of situation. Choose the option at the bottom of the reaction wheel to use your apothecary and make a new casualty roll, and he will try to save your player from an unfortunate fate. An apothecary allows a KO to be canceled immediately, but if it's an injury, it'll just become less. The player remains on the pitch if that is where he was. Otherwise, he is placed in reserve box. In the case of a casualty, an apothecary allows another casualty result to be rolled. The coach chooses one or the other, usable once per match, excluding star players, journeymen, and mercenaries. So we're gonna use apothecary. Get in there, big guy!
Blood Bowl royalty.
Let me think now. He's been with the gouged eye since 24
Select the
75.
no injury result that is offered. Your player will be available for the next drive. This turnover is an opportunity to move to another moment of the match. No injury. Nice. Turnover. Next challenge. Your opponent has placed his ball carrier. Oh, here we go. This is what we're going to push him into the crowd, and the crowd is going to curb stomp him, which is going to trigger an automatic injury roll and all that. We just not even going to give him an armor value roll, if I'm not mistaken. Your opponent has placed his ball carrier on the sidelines, a big mistake that you can exploit with a blitz declaration on the pipsqueak. Show him that the crowd of Blood Bowl or no match or of a Blood Bowl match is made of. Can't talk. All right, place him in the indicated square so he can make an assist. It's also to keep him from being pushed back.
Give the people what they want.
Now we want to do this. Now we want, yep, and it doesn't matter that it's a push result because he's going into the crowd. These results will do. Pushing him back off the pitch will trigger an instantaneous reaction by the crowd. Meaning he can, follow up.
You know, a fence may solve this problem.
Bow, 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 bow.
Just a thought.
He was stunned and the ball is back in play. When a player is pushed into the crowd, an injury roll is automatically made against him before he is placed in the reserve box. When the ball leaves the pitch following a pass, a bounce, or when the ball carrier is pushed back off the pitch, the spectators pass the ball to each other until it lands on the pitch again. Where in fact did it go?
You seem to like that.
There it is.
I respect
Your
the
player is
process.
entangled in
He
tackle
knew
zones.
he knew
Select
ahead
him
of
and then
time.
move
I
him
knew.
onto the square
Fence?
containing
He's
the
an
ball.
orc.
There is no penalty when a player leaves the tackle zone of several opponents. However, there would have been if he had tried to enter a tackle zone by performing a dodge. Because it's only one person. It's only one penalty instead of two. And his agility is pretty high, so.
Not enough tackle zones on that ball. And now the opposing team has...
Job done. You attempted a first dodge that failed, then a second one that was successful. The test was re-rolled thanks to it did that on purpose. Thanks to the dodge skill of your player. Find this information in the log. Should a re-roll fail for whatever reason, it is not possible to try a new re-roll for that action. Your player has picked up the ball. He just has to continue moving all the way to the end zone. All right. Good touchdown. The gouged eyes are losing today. Even an orc terminate whooped his butt. The Insungen rookies. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Usingen rookies, Usingen?
Yes, that's what I want to see.
You're now familiar with the basics of Blood Bowl. I've got nothing left to teach you. So you must discover the rest for yourself. Hang on in there, and glory will be yours. Be the big guy is was what that trophy was called. Be the big guy. Cabal Vision. Breaking news.
We've just heard that the Usingen rookies have been thrown out for taking
Usingen.
probability-altering substances.
Ha!
The NAF declared that the young team will not be allowed to continue in the Clash of Sponsors competition.
Wow.
Apparently, they were caught red-handed dipping into the D6 bag. Blood samples taken by the sports doctors confirmed the presence of illegal substances.
If they'd read Lord Borak's official biography, they'd know how to avoid this kind of thing. Bribery.
Rufus Bottomfoot, the
Ah!
agent, was quick to stress his confidence in his coach.
We're gonna rebuild our team and continue the clash of sponsors. After all, it's only the players that were suspended, and they're expendable.
It's reassuring
Wow.
to see that these talented, caring leaders of men have the know-how to get back on their feet after such a chaotic start.
That's amazing. They did a good job with the story. So that's the first challenge done. Oops, why did it do that? I wanted to go back. Yeah, see, now our next campaign is the now our sponsor is the Corsair Cruisers. As you can imagine who that is. What time is it? 8:09? We might want to leave this for next time. That's our first actual competition, too. That's not a tutorial. We actually have to play that. We'll save that for next time. I think that was a good start for now. That was a really good way to kind of look at that. I kind of want the corn one, but since we don't have one of my choice right now, we'll have to make them later. We'll have to hold off on that. I'm probably going to make some random custom teams as well. This is probably going to make me play a actual team, I assume. But, and then there's Nurgle, and then there's Block Dodgers, Bugman. But these are all competitions. But I think for now, what I would probably do, I could play against the AI, and of course I can make my own competitions. Just like I did before. I don't know what that is. Close registration. And called the AI League. Probably that's how to keep people from joining while people are playing their own leagues and using their own teams. It is cool because we can kind of see some of the like different setups people have been going and choosing for what they want for their teams. And that Chaos Knight spiked their drinks and they know it. That's why they black bar his eyes. That was the other Orquitas dude too. That was the guy who owns the other part of the Orquitas Fitness Club. But yeah, we can create a competition of our own. We can technically make it to have other people. From this menu, you choose a name, a logo, and a format for the competition that you are creating. Advanced parameters such as the number of available slots can be changed after the competition has been created, but before you have started. Okay. Yeah, see, I don't want 2 available slots, so there's a way to create probably a single player campaign like we used to against the AI, but I'm not sure how to do it. Invitation only. Competitive. Round robin, Wizen, ladder? Ladder's like an actual tournament, right? Mandatory password. We all know what it's gonna be. And be a ladder. I just want to see if this works. We'll name it. This is a test. Preliminary league is what we'll call it. Me learning how to set this up is basically what this is. Argonauts League. Each competition is part of a league. Leagues allow you to meet and communicate within community and gather sets of competitions. A league can be created for you when you created your account. You can use it or create a new one to register your competition. Okay. Yeah, you can set up custom leagues. That's a competition, yeah. And then we create a league. I think that's how I do it. Mandatory password. It's going to be the same for all of this if anyone ever wanted to join up stream-wise. Logo, that I'll choose myself. This is just a test league. We're going to be creating a different, or test competition. We're going to be creating a different one. The double-faced vampire. Fiery hams. There's all 21 pages. Let's just do... Let's just do that for now. First round. Just because I don't know what I'm doing. Let me make that capital just in case it ends up being. First rounds, yeah. Confirm creation. Okay. All languages crossplay. I do want crossplay, but it don't seem to let me change that. I'll have to figure out how to do this. They made it a little bit more complicated, I will say, than it normally is. Not really sure how to do this. Oh, now it's gone completely. Now it's disappeared on me. Create a competition? Didn't I just do that? I'm very confused. What's happening? I don't understand what it's doing. These also aren't loading now for some reason. Let's reset it. Wait, what's happening? It's going all the way back. What? That is a very confusing menu. I don't understand. That is... Did I need to create the league, then recreate the competition? Is that why it wouldn't let me? That is very weird. Let's try again then, I guess? Okay, let's... Preliminary... League. We'll make this rookie logo the horned ball. We want it to be ladder based. Competitive, admission, invitation only, mandatory password. Okay, so now I create a... So how do I... Okay, I guess, okay, that's... We'll have to delete that one. I'll figure that out later. So that one's marked. Now what do we do? We've created 2 leagues now. So how do I... How do I start a game? Oh, is that it? Here we go. Last step. The creation of your competition. There we go. That was confusing. The last step, the creation of your competition is almost complete. Check the parameters and if they are satisfactory, confirm the creation, and you can invite others to take part. Hopefully we can do AI. If not, this doesn't really help me. I don't mind fighting other players, but I kind of want to create an actual team to kind of play without having to play against other players. Because I don't want to go up against some sweat who has already leveled his squad up with some rookie players and they all die in the first round. I have to recreate the team. So I'm hoping there's a way to go against AI and start slowly. And if they're satisfied, confirm the creation. You can invite others to take place. Okay. I mean, yeah. Confirm creation. Now I register a team. I think. We're gonna keep looking at it and hoping it's right. Delete competition. That's how I delete the competition. I have to go into it. Most of these can't be changed anymore. I didn't mean to do that. Damn it. Oh, there it is now. That shouldn't be open registration. Did I do that wrong? Well, if somebody joins, oh well. Invite a manager. That'd be a player. Okay, the menus are so confusing. It's just that. Okay. I have no registered teams. So let's register a team. I have to make one, don't I? By the way, in Unification Mod, they added a new game mode called Assault. Oh, did they? Can't create a new team? Guess not. I guess I have to do that in the other spot. This is a bit confusing, but at least the league has been created now. There's not supposed to be free admission. I don't know. I'll figure it out that later. I really don't. I don't know if we can do AI unless I have to create my own teams to go against. Maybe that's how it works. I have to create a bunch of different teams in order to use it. I was hoping to be able to pick just some default teams to kind of set it up, but if I have to register and make teams, I will. They'll all play against each other to get better. I just hope they get experience for actually winning their matches as AI. Who knows? Because that is a bit strange. Replays. Yeah, it looks like these. I'm pretty sure this is only online. Just because it's got replays, you can watch other people's replays. Don't fight Nurgle in this mode, or else you're in for a 2-hour grind through every defense point. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think this is only for multiplayer. I feel like it'll be fun later on to try to join competitions and compete with our teams, but that kind of stuff worries me when it comes to losing my teams and my players. Maybe it's official competitions? I don't think so, though. Right? I'd still have to register a team. Welcome to the official Blood Bowl 3 ladder. Compete against other teams, prove your worth, and win exclusive rewards for the end of the season. See, I don't know if that's it either. Until we make a team, I won't know. So that's something we'll have to save for next time. These are actual people going against each other right here. That's cool. We could actually watch these. Foot of Cork! The people champions! Let's stream. Oh, God. The illustrious BBC versus just Skaven. Turf Guardian versus Rotterdam Server. The Bills Kills versus the Police Academy. Also, their team value is. Actually, wow. I want to say something real quick. Oh, that's an orc. Whoa, two dwarven civil war on the on the football field. The Mordheim Marauders. Calidor Blades. I want to point out the Skaven have a very little team value right here against very large Lustrians. That's an even battle. That I would like to watch that one, but we're not going to do that on this episode. That'd be a cool match to watch. Yeah, I assume you compete against actual other people, but I don't know how. I want to do a proper. What I'm assuming what it might be is it might be one of these. Maybe these are the actual competitions, and we unlock them and we train our teams using these. Like after a certain point, my team is going to be my own. So I should probably see. We'll check that out in the next episode because I assume that's what this is going to do. This is going to help me create my first team, I assume. But I actually don't know, where do I create teams at? Oh, teams. Hold on. Yeah, create a new team is where it would be. These are the ones we can do for right now. I'll show what we can pick, but we're not going to do it at the moment. There's also 2 different orcs, by the way. Each faction has its strengths and its weaknesses that you can check out in the details option of this screen. The teams that you create can be played in all game modes. All competition matches will have an impact on your teams, who will collect money, injuries, and glory through the course of their careers. So let's read these. So, Imperial Nobility. This is the Empire. The nobles of the Empire, be they fans of the Blood Bowl, daring entrepreneurs, or seekers of the bloody pastime. Sometimes establish richly accessory teams, bringing together nobles and commoners. They replicate an age-old, but sometimes why do I not know what that word is? Disparaged? It has to do with like their social structure being a little weird. Then there's just humans. This is funny because these are the guys who are like, I guess you could say these are the Norsemen, like the Nordsmen, like the guys from the north is the best you could say. But these are the Nordsmen. There's more. Once you buy the other 3 teams, you get 3 more teams on this as well. And there's further customization even inside these teams with their species and what they get. The Skaven are just one thing across the board, but you can make them more like Ikit, more like any of the others. You can make them however you want. More mutated, more scientific. And then this is the thing I find funny. You have regular orcs, which is just the orc boys, the giant trolls, and gobos. And then you have just pure ridiculousness. Black orcs are capable of strategy while presenting an exceptional talent for melee combat. However, never ask them to tell a joke. Their special sense of humor might prove fatal for you. Yeah, these are basically Grimgore's football team. This one's more just generalized orc factions. And then there's the Chaos Renegades, which this is everybody. I actually like this team because this team is probably what I might make eventually, because this is literally, and You can choose. I want to read what it says. The Chaos Renegades embrace their faith outside any official cult. These mismatched teams enchant fans of mutations and equality. However, don't expect a game that is pleasing to the eye. Their players can't stand each other. I could make a legit like a mixed SG with this team. Have a little bit of everybody on this one. And then of course the Dark Elves. Let's read theirs. You can do multiple of different types of them as well. The Dark Elves decided to honor their most violent emotions, turning their back on the tactics exalted by the elf traditionalists. These adepts of the Blitz bring smiles to the faces of the connoisseurs, the only ones able to appreciate the beauty of their guileful attacks. Yeah, they're really good at blitzing and running. Whereas the Elven Union, for the elves, players of the Elven Union are avant-gardists. Not only do they pay no heed to long-standing animosities between their respective peoples, but in addition they sport ever more audacious combinations of colors and hairstyle. And then Nurgle. This is a specific one. I have a feeling they're going to be adding others like this for the other lords very soon. Followers of Nurgle proudly display their gifts from their god. High elves? Basically. These are basically high elves. The Elven Union is the high elves. Because the dark elves are their own mixed faction, this is the high elves. The wood elves have a DLC team you can get for this game to represent them. The followers of Nurgle proudly display the gifts from their god, but their mutations or contagious diseases, vomiting, tentacles, big white spots that are really painful, they choose a life of suffering in order to become the best players of Blood Bowl. And then dwarves. Dwarves can claim. Wasn't High Elves their own team in the last game? No, you can make them kind of their own team, but it's always been the Elven Union technically. These are just bases for these species, anyways, within the faction that they're kind of dialing them towards. Like I said, Skaven. There used to be more than one Skaven, but they rolled them all into one. You can still do a high elf build and other high elf builds inside the Elven Union. It just starts as a template as an Elven Union team, and you change it to however you want it. But the type of creatures and players is what matters the most, which hasn't changed much. It basically combined both together, and you can hire different types of dark elves, different type of high elves to create those same teams that were in the others. It's a different way of doing it, so they didn't have 100 different teams. You basically create those 100 different teams out of these ones you see here, and of course new ones because of the new types of setups. Like that old world alliance. This is kind of tree people, ogres, humans, and dwarves and halflings. They did that because there's a lot of hybrid teams now that allow you to kind of mix and match, as like that one. Mix and match your teams to be different types of species. That was something people really were requesting for this game. So, and I don't blame them because it is kind of a cool thing to have that kind of like a real football team. And this is kind of a fantasy football Warhammer game. Don't tell me they got rid of the Chaos Dwarves. They did, but they'll probably be back as DLC, I'm assuming. The Lizardmen have the same problem. They took the Lizardmen out, but they're DLC now. They'll get brought back. I think they're part of the Underworld Denizens part, and then they're going to get their own later. And I assume, just like Nurgle here, there'll be a Khorne one and a Devoted Slanesh one. And a Zeech one, probably. So, and the Chaos Chosen, this is basically Beastmen Chaos Warrior mix. Some ogres, a little bit of green skin. This particularly destructive team brings together Minotaurs, Beastmen, Ogres, Trolls, in a common goal: spill the enemy's blood in honor of the four gods of chaos. They are so devoted that they sometimes forget the ball. So that's probably undivided, kind of. Like, that's Chaos Undivided, essentially. Too bad there's no Dragon Shoggoths. like Dragon Shogoff ogres, Dragon ogres as they're too big, but it'd be kind of cool to see one as like a team member. Oh, my eye is kind of hurting for some reason. But yeah, these are all the different teams you can kind of pick from and go with for it. We'll probably, I don't know what we're going to go for first. I mean, we could go old fashioned and go green skin one way or the other. We could go straight up, oops, we could go straight up Grimgore. Grimgore's basically personal sponsored team. Or we could go regular Orc Boys and just go for consistency over strength and strategy, because this is only one extreme to the other. That's why you have to use a lot of strategy with this one. Because it's either blitzers, big boys, or only goblins. Whereas this has more than one type of orc, but they're not black orcs. So this is more versatile, whereas this requires a little bit more strategy. We could also just go Skaven and build sciency Icket sponsored team. I'm gonna make all of these eventually. Or we could go our mixed team, our weird Slaneshi corruption team. Or we could go straight Slanesh and go Dark Elf immediately. Wait a minute, there are orc cheerleaders in this universe, so technically there are orc females. Well, here's the thing though, they're not actually females. I mean, some orcs do have some big man jibbies. I don't want to be too crazy with YouTube, but that's the nicest way I can put it. Some guys have some pretty big man jibbies. Let's just say they're not females. Orcs don't have females. I don't think they have gender, to be fair, so neither is technically male or female if you really think about it. Orcs don't really have one. Goblins either. At least not in this universe. Now, in other universes, yes. Like things that are not Warhammer, like Warcraft and all that, those have female orcs and goblins and all that. But fungus and dresses, that's basically what it is. Because that's all they are. They just dressed up as cheerleaders to do their cheerleader duty for the orc team, even though. But I can say without a doubt, though, the Skaven one is a bit different. They didn't have their own in this game, but they do now. A lot of them have actually their own customizations. Also, eventually you can customize, I think, their sideline stuff, what they have on the sideline, what kind of cheerleader types. Like, you don't have to stick with, I think, what they have, just like the other one. But there's more to customize now on your sidelines. Your star player can taunt the enemy team and inspire stuff as well. This will show off in further episodes later on down the road when we do strategy. When we do the strategy theme on the channel again during one of the votes. We'll show more of this off during that to kind of curtail it. I've also got a strategy for their strategy. I didn't mean to say that. I've also got a plan for that as well, but that's not one of the main three choices right now for the coming up week. The coming up week is going to be shooter, or the coming up week's votes, which I'm going to let know everyone here now. We're going to talk about this a lot more later, but the coming up vote that's going to be at the end of this week is going to be shooter, role-playing game, I'm trying to remember my brain. I'm kind of flopped out. Hold on. I actually got to look at my XMP chat. Hold on one second. Real quick blue screen. So we've done fighter. So it'd be shooter. RPG. Because that's not downloaded yet. Or strategy. We'll do strategy to incorporate that. So it'll be shooter, strategy, or RPG for the vote for this week, coming up in this week. If everyone wants to start voting now. Because this is kind of, I'm doing this on purpose to kind of let the console come back onto the channel a little bit, since PC's been here the whole time and has already had its day in the sun and all this other stuff going on. So, yeah, and all this other stuff going on. So, I'm gonna be essentially kind of forcing a little bit, but I still want y'all to have a chance to vote on whatever you would prefer out of all that. Forcing a little bit of directionalism towards what we're doing. Mostly because I have a special plan going on for the next month or two that I'm trying to work towards. So, and we're going to be doing it over time, depending on y'all's votes with whatever happens going forward. So it'll either be shooter, strategy, or RPG this week. This at the end of this week are the 3 votes for everybody. So if you want to go ahead and do your vote now, Farseer, that's up to you. Tam King, anyone in chat, if you're still here right now, it is getting kind of late. If you want to go ahead and do your vote now, go ahead. If not, you can give me you can give me the vote when we do the proper videos for it later on this week. I'm gonna be putting a poll up on Discord as well. It'll be the first of its kind. I'm gonna start it tomorrow if I can, depending on how late I get done with errands. This week's gonna be kind of busy with me, but it's to set up a lot of cool things I want to do in honor of the PS5 being back, and in honor of finally getting to embrace and finish where I started when I wanted to do my physical therapy, and when I finished it, the physical therapy I completed and I'm good. But I'm still deciding on what to vote. That's fine then. Yeah, take your time. If you don't want to vote tonight, you don't have to either, to be fair. You can wait till later on this week when we get a little closer. Wait, what's the vote? It's for what's coming up, the theme for next week or two. After, not this week, but the next week and the week after that. So it's either strategy, shooter, or RPG. Specifically, those 3. Because each of them are tied to something bigger. So, yeah. So, role play. I knew Tam King was going to say that. Kind of figured. He knows what the RPG one is, I bet. That's why he's voting for that one. I know you know what that one is, I bet. So, Tam King votes RPG. So that's one towards that one. And Farseer, you, like I said, you don't have to vote tonight if you're not sure what you prefer. Just you can let me know later on this week. Won't be till the end of this week when we start to get ready to start it. So, and strategy, just to reiterate to everyone, so everyone knows and they don't get confused. When I say strategy, I mean RTS and turn-based strategy, because it's too hard to separate them in 2 different genres. It makes it too unfair to the other genres who don't have more than one genre like that. So strategy means all strategies, anything that's strategy like based. I'll vote shooter to give the vote to James. Okay, watch James vote strategy because he wants. See, it's funny. You may end up making that a 3-way brawl because James might vote strategy because I know he wants to play more Warhammer, probably some more Total War Warhammer. So that's risky, but all right. So shooter, even Stevens. I'll add it to the poll once the poll is up. So it's shooter 1, RPG 1, even Stevens. So far, strategy 0. So far. If Sealy, if you're still in here, he probably had to go though. Sealy, if you see this video or a future video this week, vote now. RPG, strategy, or shooter. Radios mod has been updated. Ooh. We already started our playthrough though. I think we're gonna keep it vanilla for this one. Me and James's little gun competition between dwarf and human. I think we're gonna keep that vanilla, but then the next series will bring back Radios and some other things that James wants because he's been trying to already put more mods on for other things he's trying to do. He's losing his mind. He's just already trying to remod it. It was mostly for Zeech stuff. You can imagine he's trying to fix the Zeech problems that are that happened because of the what do you call it? Because the vanilla kind of messed up Zeech, in my opinion. So the Zeech factions. Only Kairos is really technically Village is playable, but he's still weird compared to what he should be. But yeah, kind of boned them compared to the other Chaos Lords. Zeech is kind of in a weird spot. Slanesh is too, but I feel like at least my choices are at least still stable, meaning you could do them and still have fun. So we'll probably end up doing that. But Radios will come back for the next one after our current series is going on with that. But he might vote strategies so we can continue that. World War One is getting even more broken. Yep, it is. But I hope y'all all enjoyed seriously watching some Blood Bowl 3. I'm so excited about to be playing this again. It's gonna be so good. I will write down the votes that we currently have so I can add them to the poll on Discord. Sadly, I can't do a poll, not an official poll, I don't think, on the PlayStation side. I'll see if I can, if there's a way to do that in the Guardian Core. If not, then I'll just do it on Discord, and people will have to kind of use their phones or whatever they can get on Discord on that are part of the community and try to cast the vote that way. Or put the vote as a word, like tell me your vote through messaging as well. Or put it in the comments below the video, any of the recent videos starting tonight. So, Ostwin is on the list of new stuff. And we know how busted that will be. Oh, God. Yep. Pray they don't add more WW2 units. Well, they are basically trying to go towards WW2 with that mod, so... I mean, it's only natural at some point. But anyways, peace and love, everyone. And I will see you all in the next one. See you all tomorrow. My eye feels weird today. I don't know why. See you all tomorrow. Peace and love, everyone. Thanks for joining. Big shout out to Tam King and show his channel some love. And big shout out to my moderator, Farce here, making sure that the Greenskins are ready for war on the football field. Bretonia got their infantry and cannons. They do. They very much do. But see you later next time. Bye. Bye, or not Foster. Bye, Foster. Bye, everybody. Bye.